Just ask me questions.
So, Isabella, tell us what you think about ICU.
I think it's like very good because it helps you not just to see blindfolded, but it helps you to connect in your life, and it does. And sometimes it doesn't just help you to do one thing. If even doing just this, it can help you basically like do other things and develop other things which you never knew you could do.
Tell me what sort of things you've developed.
Well, I've developed my hearing and my sight, because from before I was not that good at hearing and not seeing, mostly not seeing, and because I couldn't see through my glasses. And then ICU helped me to be able to help me with my vision better.
Wonderful.
And also with my hearing, because now I can hear everything from a mile away.
Wow, that's super hearing. So tell us what you're doing here today.
Well, I'm just doing like a piece of colouring, which I'm carrying on.
Fantastic.
I'm using this orangey kind of colour.
Wonderful. Excellent. That's very small, very, very small, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tell me the colour you're using.
Oh, right now I'm just using the orange colour.
Beautiful. Tell me why you think other children should do ICU.
Well, I think it because some children are a bit, have some like problems, not like bad problems, there's nothing wrong, but maybe sometimes they can like develop and help them with the problems. Like if you're like blind or something, this you can still see.
Okay.
With the blindfold.
That's it. I'm going to turn them all over the right way. That's it. Nearly done. Mm-hmm.
I think you're supposed to start over this bit.
Okay, there's one more piece to turn up. That's it. Now, why don't you have a look at the box and see what might be the best place to start? How about Batman's badge?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay. So, if you have a look for Batman pieces, the badge pieces. Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah.
Good boy. Well done. So we want all the pieces that go with that. Would you like the light on? You're okay. Very good. Right, so what other pieces go?
This will go like...
I'm not quite sure that piece will fit there.
Not the other hand.
Have a look for all the pieces with purple and cream and brown. That's it, well done. Oops. Well done. There's some more pieces over here, look, by your left hand. That's it. Can you see the other piece by your left hand? Well done, good boy. Well done. Try that. It's got a flat edge, hasn't it? That's it. Oh, and it's a corner. Good boy. That's it. It's a middle piece, isn't it? It's got no flat edge. Work with the pieces you've got there.
Oh.
Mm.
Use that bit.
Mm.
Hello, it's Clive de Carl, welcoming you to another edition of the Health Revolution. And today I'm very pleased to be joined by Nicola Farmer. And I think you're going to find that what Nicola teaches is beyond what most people's imagination can possibly cope with. So could we start, Nicola, right at the nitty-gritty? If a child comes to your classes, what are they going to achieve?
Well, that is quite a $1,000 question, but what the children can do is very much align with who they really are as a human being. Now, what I mean by that is a lot of children have varying degrees of trauma or lack of confidence or self-esteem. And they can be perfectly normal children as well who don't have any issues at all. But when they come, because they're so individual, although we've got one modality for teaching them, the outcome can be different in so many ways. So, for example, we've had children who have had bullying issues. We've had children who have had traumas where there might be abuse involved. We've had children that have bedwetting issues and stomach issues. And basically what the course does is it gives them the opportunity to align with who they really are, to heal the traumas, and to expand their consciousness to a level where they don't doubt and they're capable of doing anything.
And when you say anything, you really do mean anything, don't you? Can you give a few examples?
Yeah, I do. In saying they can do anything, because it's relatively new, and because we haven't got children that have gone through the teaching and come out the other side as adults, the long term we don't know yet. But in doing anything, what I understand and what I see with the children is whatever they set their mind on doing, whatever they believed they couldn't do, they now can. So as an example, one of the little boys that came to do the program, he was asked to take the lead role in the school play, and his nerves got the better of him, his self-esteem hit the floor, his confidence hit the floor, and he said he couldn't do it, and he started to withdraw within himself. So he came and did the program, and to say that you see a child blossom is an understatement, because they start to recognize that they have no limits. He went through the program, his confidence grew, and then the following year he played the lead role in the school play. So we have, I mean, that's a very simple example, but we know with the children that there are no limits. And as another example, a little boy came home from school. He said to his mum, "I've got this maths homework to do and I don't know how to do it." And his mother said, "Well, you should have asked the teacher." And he said, "I did, but she didn't have time to go through it with me again." And in the mother's wisdom, she said, "Well, put your blindfold on and do your homework." And he did it instantly.
So, explain, if you would, what happens when the children put on a blindfold. And this is a proper blindfold and they can see nothing through it, right?
Yeah. We use a blindfold called a mindfold. And if anybody's ever put one on, you can't see anything, absolutely nothing. And what's really interesting, and it fascinates me, because we capture the children before puberty and before the left brain becomes more active, when you give them a blindfold and they put it on, they don't ask why. They literally just put it on. Now, there are some technical things I can share with you with regards to putting on a blindfold, because when you stop light going through the physical eyes, it temporarily shuts down the third eye, which is the pineal gland. So effectively, the pineal gland is the third eye is not actually in operation. So they put the blindfold on. They also have their eyes closed underneath the blindfold, because we encourage them to do that as well. And so we get them to connect with their higher consciousness through a process that we take them through, and it literally takes minutes. Now, the really interesting thing with wearing this blindfold and temporarily closing down the third eye is that when they start to see, the brain struggles to compute that the child is reading with a blindfold. So then the brain sends little tiny signals, electrical charges to the eyes to stimulate them because there's no light receptors active. And so their eyes start to itch, and sometimes they start to water as well. And I was very lucky to have had a conversation with a guy called Dr. Ken West, who used to be an eye doctor, and now he does a lot of healing and sacred geometry work. And he was telling me about this issue with the eyes and the receptors. So I get very excited, and the other teachers get very excited, that when the children say my eyes are itching, we absolutely know that they're so connected to their higher consciousness that they're on the edge of breaking through to see with that aspect of themselves. But what I love is the scientific part of it, where the brain then has to recalibrate the vision because there's no light coming through the eyes. It is just so exciting.
Doing brilliantly. That's it. Doing really, really well for her. Fabulous. Possibly the nose there. That's it. Wonderful. Make sure it doesn't slip off the table. Doing brilliantly.
What you're saying is that the child puts on the blindfold and within just minutes they're able to do exactly what?
When they start to expand their consciousness, and when they start to focus through that expanded consciousness, through that higher consciousness, they can start to see the colours on the book in front of them. And most of the time, it's a book they've never ever seen before.
And so how many minutes have elapsed at this point?
Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I've had a child that after I've taken them through the opening process for 2 or 3 minutes, sit down and start to see straight away. But some children take longer. Some children could take 5 sessions, and some children don't see at all. But taking them through the program alters their vibration, their level of consciousness to such a point where it doesn't matter if they see or not, but they go through this transformation, this healing process that changes their lives anyway. So the potential is to see within 5-6 minutes of them beginning the program, or maybe 5 or 6 sessions, or not at all. It's not really the seeing, it's the process that they go through that is life transforming.
So from the child's perspective, how do they feel their life has been transformed? Obviously, suddenly seeing without your eyes, that's pretty enormous. What else are they experiencing?
Okay, well, what's really interesting is that they don't see it as being anything extraordinary. They take it in their stride. It's not something that they feel they need to boast about or even share with other people. It's as natural to them as breathing. But when we interact with the parents of the children and they feed back to us,
when they come the following week, they have to complete a questionnaire to give us an idea of where the child is the following week. The parents see the transformation much more than the children do because they take it so much in their stride. The feedback we get from the parents is, and one of the most profound things we're finding is the children become so loving, so much more compassionate, generous. You see all of their beautiful natural gifts evolving. And then during a program, we might get a parent feedback about the comments in their school report. So we've had children who have jumped 2 years in their reading age in a matter of 4 or 5 weeks. So the evolution of the children is dependent on that individual child, but the common theme that runs through all of them is their level of their ability to love. But what is fascinating is the children take it in their stride. They're incredible to observe.
Did you say a wishing star in the lake, croaked Frog, hopping up out of the river? I could wish for as many flies as I can eat. And with a huge leap, he was gone.
Good girl.
Quick! Let's go, cried Val, jumping into the water and giving the mice new paddles. We can't let Frog get there before us, Val pushed the leaf boat from the reeds, then scrambled aboard as the wind took hold of it and sent them speeding down the river.
Good girl.
Are there many people who know how to teach this?
At the moment, not many, because although I developed this modality, well, I think it's about 3 or 4 years ago now, it's rolling it out to other people. And because the concept is so far out there, and the process to become a teacher takes a period of time, because obviously we've got a child's future in our hands, there aren't as many qualified teachers as I would like. Having said that, I know that it will progress at the level of the speed that it needs to. But I do feel that this year it has the potential to move very fast.
Does one need some special skills to teach it? What does one need? How much time does one need to learn it? That sort of thing.
Okay, it's not about needing special skills. It's about being a particular type of person. I have a beautiful gift of being psychic and various other abilities over and above being a normal human being. But that's not even necessary. It's knowing within your heart that you can take this modality forward with children and know that it's going to make a big difference to the world. It's a knowing within you. They have to complete quite an extensive application form in order to be considered for the training. And the application form for me is purely academic because I know if somebody's right or not, even by looking at their photograph. But the application form that they go through has the potential to trigger things within them that will either trigger the excitement of their heart or the doubt of their ego. And I've had some pretty amazing application forms. Every single person that has completed one has said to them how it's also triggered some sort of healing within themselves as well. So that was the pure design of the application form. I mean, I could just say to people, send me a picture and I'll let you know if you're suitable or not. but I really need to know that they know it's right for them. So then they come and do a 3-day training course. So they either come to me in the UK, or I've been traveling abroad to train teachers in other countries. And then after the 3 days, they then have to go away and do some case studies. So that's working with children, and then presenting the case studies to qualify. And one of the greatest fears that comes up through the training program is, what if I let the child down? What if I'm not good enough for that child? And my answer to that is, and this was guided, and I just love this, the child's soul signed up for this for you long before you knew about ICU.
It's lovely. That's very good. So, how many children have gone through it so far?
Oh, do you know, I don't know the total number. I mean, I've worked with several over the years, each year. But if you think that you work with one child over a period of 10 to 12 weeks, most of us have many other aspects to our lives anyway. So it's not a huge volume. And actually, it's quite tiring when you're working with the child, because you are firing on all levels of your consciousness and some more. So the number that have actually gone through the program, I can't put a figure on it, of course, because there's teachers in other countries. But I do know that the children that have gone through the program are making a huge difference in their own lives, their families' lives, and their communities' lives already.
Yeah. No! I put it in the wrong place. Wait, where's that one? Wait, Nicola, can it go like that?
He can go that way.
Like this?
He can.
Or I should go like that?
See where you need to go first. That's it. Well done, boys.
Let me see.
Wait for Jaden.
I need to look for his plan. Shazam. I have a plan. Okay, we put it here. 1, 2. Oops, sorry. Boy.
That's it. Turn it around a little bit so Jaden can see it. That's it.
Where did you put it? It's over here. Here. Here.
That's it there. Well done.
Opening my eyes itchy.
Oh. Doing well, boys.
No! I'll do this. Oh,
That's it.
wait. Let me look for Nathan's plan. Don't. Need to look for your plan. I want to go over the plan.
That's it. Well done.
Now put your car.
Wait for Jaden.
Good to go. Oh, you don't want me to make it next.
Whoa.
Good to go. Oh, look, his one's flying.
You're doing well.
Put it. I'm gonna put it in question mark land. Got 2 more.
Whoa.
I will never let you win. Jessica. In a century or more. Here.
That's it.
But he could still do it there. No, I was gonna do it like that.
Ha
What do I do now?
You have another strategy.
You want to do the best mate dance.
And Jaden, your turn.
I'm going to win, boy.
Whoa.
I know Nathan's going to make up down there.
Oh, that's blocked.
You know, take it down for bullying I'm going to win this one, I wonder.
Whoa. Oh. Look carefully. Leave it there, Jaden.
Look carefully, boy.
Look carefully.
Look.
Aha.
No!
Carry on, Jaden.
Oh my goodness, that's a big yawn.
I don't think I have any more space.
What about down the other side? The other end?
No. No, I'm just going to put it away.
Whoa, look carefully.
No. You are not getting that.
Whoa.
Where did you put it?
At the top. Come on. ICU's about being kind. Show him where you did it.
There. Yeah, I'm gonna win or I can't. This one.
Well done, boys.
Wait. Let me look for your plan. I'm gonna put it. No. Put it here. No. Put it here.
Mind it doesn't
Yeah,
slip
it's
off
really
the
good
table.
It's really good there. Please. Whoa, I saw your plan. She was like, come, let's do it. One there and one there. Yeah, we're gonna win that way. I guess he wins now.
Let's see.
I'm just gonna put random. Wait, let me look. Yellows. I need to look it here. Boy, I need to look for your plan. I don't have any plans.
I think this is stalemate.
No plans, dude. Yeah.
Oh well, shake hands on that because this is a draw.
I'm just gonna put it all up on.
Go on then, shake hands on it.
Hey.
High five that draw.
I did it.
I think I heard you say that once the children get past 11 or something, then it becomes much more difficult to teach the skill. And can you tell us about that?
Yes, certainly. A child around about the age of 11 will go through puberty, and the left brain starts to become a lot more active, the logic, the analytical side. So when the child reaches that age, it's a lot more challenging to take them through the program. We have no expectations of them to seeing, but that child's expectation is higher because they're in that modality of their age and the era that they're in. So 11 is kind of like the ceiling limit. But having said that, I've worked with 15-year-olds who have been probably a little less mature than a regular 15-year-old, and they've seen. And like I said to you, it's not about seeing, it's about the program itself. But there is something exciting occurring because I have been receiving guidance that at some point this year, I'll be guided to develop an adult version. That will be the difference, yeah.
Do you think that somebody who was adept at meditation, for instance, would find it easier because they're perhaps in more control of their neurology?
There's always that possibility. But even somebody who is a master of meditation still has a human mind.
That's it.
This will be number 70.
Okay, now perhaps we could put in some windows.
Yeah. So probably the windows are going to be again yellow to make it like lighter.
Mm-hmm.
So there's going to be a window like, just like a, there's going to be a window like on the, no, not on the roof. I was thinking I'm going to have one small window on the roof, I'm thinking instead. Just like one small one up here.
Okay.
Just so. I'm not going to draw a line through it because I want to be able to, for people to see. Then at the same time, it's going to have blue curtains coming through.
Very good.
And then there's going to be another window, one like down here. It's going to be one in the middle here. There's
Nice tall house.
I'm going to make it even. Now in each of them I have like blue curtains.
Good girl.
Oof, that was not a very well drawn curtain.
Hmm.
It's just going to be like, I'm just going to draw it here to make it look even, I guess.
That's it. Wonderful.
Here it is. Now I'm going to leave these without, I'm going to leave that one without a curtain, but these will only have a small bit of the curtain coming in.
That's all right.
On one side.
Wonderful.
So, with yourself, at what age did you realise that you had a few things about you that were different to the others?
Well, I've always felt different, and one of the common factors or common themes that runs through people who are gifted in some way is that we've all felt like we've never fitted in, or we've never belonged, or we've never conformed to society. And I've always known there's been something different about myself, but it wasn't until I think it was about 15, 16 years ago, I had chronic fatigue, or it was called ME then. And I knew that, well, I felt like I was dying, but I didn't feel like I was physically dying. I felt that something within me was dying. So I went through that period of time of the extreme tiredness and sort of, I call it my dormant years. But then I started to come out the other side, and then it's like something sparked in me that something new had occurred, and I needed to start to regain my strength, my inner core strength. So I began to learn to do yoga to build that strength, and this ability of mine, the awareness, the psychic awareness, the ability to hear and channel started to develop. So we're talking about 15 or 16 years ago, but I've known all of my life that I'm different.
What other gifts do you have?
Oh gosh, that's $1 million question as well. So other than being psychic, I'm mediumistic, so I can communicate to discarnate beings. I have several different healing modalities that I've learnt over the years, but more recently I've started to develop healing modalities. So they're things that we can add value to what we already know. I'm a trance medium as well, so I can go into altered states of consciousness and channel discarnate beings that speak through me. I develop workshops, I teach meditation. Oh, the list it goes on and on and on.
Wow. And so what's your intention now? Are you focusing mainly with the children at this point, or is that, or what? Or you've probably got several areas of focus, I suspect.
Yeah. I think the thing I love most about my work is no 2 days are the same, and my focus shifts from 1 hour to the next, if not from 1 minute to the next. I know this year there needs to be a lot of time dedicated to the children, or developing the modality in rolling it out more to people around the world. I've got several workshops in other countries lined up this year. I also feel that developing the modality for the adults is good, because we need to make sure that there's a good balance between the younger generation and the older generation, so that we're not creating a divide between the two. And I also feel that well, the word I feel is important this year is alignment. So as I take each day, each month throughout this year, the guidance and what I feel is necessary, other than what's already in my diary, will unfold, because I also feel that part of that alignment is people going with what's happening in the moment, not yesterday or tomorrow.
It's a pink donut with some sprinkles. That's the same.
Yes.
This is a panda in like a field of flowers.
Yes.
That's the same.
Uh-huh.
This is like a clock, or the Big Ben.
Mm-hmm.
So like a clock with a red moustache and some eyebrows.
Okay, next one. Take some more out of the box.
Thank you. This is like a grumpy blob.
Mm-hmm.
And it's purple, it has a moustache. This is like the other blobs, and it was blue, and it looks like...
Yep.
This is like a helicopter.
Okay.
This is like a statue. I don't know what statue is it called, and it has a ice cream in its hand.
How many? Have a look at that one again. Tell me how many hearts you can see.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Good girl.
Has a piece of paper.
Uh-huh.
Get some more. And then 1, 2. Jump turned over. I'm gonna get all you. This is like one of the this is like a devil with like a stick.
Mm-hmm.
It's blue fur. This is like a glow up ghost. I have a toy of it. It glows up in the dark.
Ah, okay. Good girl.
That's like the blue blob I talked about.
What face did the blue blob? That's the one. Exactly.
This is like that ghost again.
Yeah.
This is the doll I talked about. That's half human, half doll.
Okay.
This is a pyramid. It has a bow.
Uh-huh.
This is like a penguin with like a this a skull hat with glasses.
Very clever girl. Well done.
I wonder whether the children themselves will end up being the best teachers, because they as they learnt it with the way a child sees it, perhaps they could explain it to the adults in the way a child sees it. I don't know whether that would help.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And believe me, you know, when they start to learn ICU, they could teach me better than I could teach them. But when the adults go through the training to become teachers, they also experience it for themselves. So I don't just teach them how to teach the children; they go through the program themselves in the period of training.
And ICU stands for?
inspiring children universally.
And so people now who want to perhaps somehow enroll their children, how would they go about that?
They can look at the website. It's icuacademy.co.uk. There's lots of information about the work on there for the children. There's also information on about how to become a teacher and where the training programs are going to be carried out. They can also on the website, there's a video they can watch, which was made a few years ago. It was a guy who came over from California. He's a journalist. He came and made the video. It's on YouTube. It's on there as well. And there's plenty of information there. And if they want to take it further, my contact details are on there too.
What about children who perhaps through some accident or something, or genetics, or whatever, were able to see and have now lost their sight? Have you had an experience along those lines, or with children who've always been blind, or what happens there?
This part of it excites me, because right now, if the children have not had sight from birth, that's going to be slightly more challenging to get them to see with their higher consciousness, because they won't know what colours are and they won't know what to look for, albeit that later on that can be developed in such a way we can teach them what colours are. Children that are partially sighted or have lost their sight but have seen, that's where I feel we can make a big difference. I did work with an older lady who had lost her sight, and she saw. The sad part of that is that I think it freaked her out so much that she stopped coming. But I do believe she was put in my path to prove it works. So until now, we haven't worked with a partially sighted child or a child that's lost their sight. But I do feel that can make a huge difference to them going forward.
Well, it could be massive, couldn't it? I mean, just staggering. So how are you moving forward on that one? Are you actively looking for somebody?
I'm not actively looking, but I do feel someone will come. There's information out there. It has been slow. It's been like a trickle of information going out there. And one of the reasons for that as well is because if this was to explode and suddenly become worldwide, the infrastructure to deal with that hasn't been there. So I needed to make sure the foundations were really strong for this to be rolled out. So it's been a trickle until now, but I do believe we're ready. So, if anybody watches this or knows of a child that may benefit, then they can contact me via the website.
Well, that's so fantastic, Nicola. I'm so pleased that I've had the privilege to talk with you about this, because it's so exciting. I've been waiting for months and months and months to speak with you. So, it's absolutely fantastic. So, before we sort of wrap things up, anything else that you'd like to say that perhaps we haven't covered and should?
Yeah, just one other thing that comes to mind, and I know this will happen eventually, but my vision is for this to be worldwide and to be part of mainstream schooling. Well, it's going to take a while, because I do believe we need to get people to understand that it's not supernatural, it's just purely natural. And of course the children are still just growing up. The eldest student that I've taught is now 15, but one of the most phenomenal things I've heard about him is that one of his strongest subjects at school is computer science, and his teacher at school is pretty blown away by him, because he can program a computer and build one equally as well, which tells me that his left and his right brain are completely at one. So even being noticed in schools, the children's abilities is just a little tiny inroad into maybe getting this into mainstream school at some point.
Well, it'd be amazing to have it in mainstream school. I think really perhaps beyond that we shouldn't have mainstream school. We should
I absolutely agree with you, but that's what we've got now.
Yes, quite. Well, brilliant. I wondered, the yogis who go into dark caves and live in them for a long time, I wonder whether they develop these sort of techniques or whether you think that perhaps in the past that this was something this was common knowledge. What do you think?
I believe that in the past everybody could do this, and just as so many extraordinary abilities of human beings were numbed down and shut down, I don't believe I'm bringing anything to the world that we don't know about. I believe I'm bringing something back. And as far as the yogis going into the caves, I mean, we know that the Kogis in Colombia, they go in there and they fast for many days, and they do slow, gentle movements in these caves, and it brings them to a high level of consciousness. Now they're in absolute darkness, so again, there's no light going through their eyes, and I do believe that although the third eye is very important, when you close that third eye down and you take them to much higher levels of their sensitivity and their consciousness, then that evolution of the human being and the soul together can be completely limitless.
It's following me when I'm walking or running down the hall. It follows me when I'm pouncing or pressed up against the wall.
Good boy.
I wonder why it follows me. I wonder why it tries. I need a good detective or several clever spies.
Like a poem, isn't it?
I've tried to ignore it. I've tried to not stare. I tried to pretend
That's it.
that I just don't care.
Good boy.
But it's behind me when I'm eating. It's behind me when I nap. It's behind me when I'm meowing, or when I'm curled up on a lap.
That's it, good boy.
I've tried at times to run away. I've even tried to flee. But it seems that everywhere I go, it always follows me. It's behind me in the basement. It's behind me on the stairs. It's behind me on the sofa. It's behind me on the chairs. I remain...
Try again, first word.
If I remain alert and stay on my guard, then I'm sure to catch it, and I'll bite it hard. Oh.
Bottom of this page.
Ow!
What do you think it's chasing? What's behind him all the time?
A little furball.
And what is this furball here? What's behind the cat? What does it have?
It a fuzz.
What does it waggle? Dogs have one too.
Tail.
That's it. He's talking about his tail. Is that good?
Yeah.
And it's not related to the children, but I don't know whether I told you, I developed a healing modality purely working on the vagus nerve.
All right. No, you didn't tell me. Yeah.
Okay. So this was guided to me about 3 years ago, and I did 2 years of research working with researching the vagus nerve, the benefits, the essentials for it. What happens if it's overtoned, what happens if it's undertoned, and then I'd researched using sound and oils and crystals, and then eventually put together a whole healing modality based on using tuning forks, etc., to tone the vagus nerve, and we've had some phenomenal results with it. 2 ladies came in with really severe vertigo that they couldn't even lay down to start with, and walked out without the vertigo.
Wow.
We've had people with severe back pain that is undiagnosed for years, or they can't diagnose them with anything, and the back pain just goes overnight.
Wow, and stays gone.
Yeah. I was very lucky to have the opportunity to work with my friend's son, who is severely autistic. He's 23, and he's non-verbal still at 23. And he came, and we didn't even know if he would lay down, and he did. But I let him play with the tuning forks first, so he knew what they were. And Clive, he laid there for 20 minutes while I worked with the tuning forks and the oils. And then the following week, his care worker just couldn't stop commenting on how calm he was. So then he came back for a second session and laid there for 30 minutes. And the reason he came originally wasn't just because of the autism, but because he had an underactive bladder, and his bladder started to normalize as well. And I don't know whether you know this as well, but I speak light language.
I didn't. I don't know what light language is.
Okay, it's a channeled language of the stars, of the cosmos. It's a universe language. So I go into an altered state and I speak this language, and it's not something that people can understand. It's a vibration. So at the end of the second session with this guy, I said to his mum, "Can I try something? Can I speak to him in light language?" She said, "Whatever you want." And bearing in mind he's non-verbal, he started to talk to me back in light language.
Wow.
Yeah. It was absolutely phenomenal.
I don't know if this has any relevance, but my favourite non-verbal autism story is my friend Kerry Rivera. She takes her son off all dairy and all grains, and within 3 days, aged 8, he's speaking.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, my understanding of autism, being the umbrella terminology, is that these children, there's nothing wrong with them other than they vibrate at a much higher frequency than a regular human being. So when they're born and they have to lower their frequency from spirit to human, they struggle to lower it to such a level. It's a bit like putting a 120 watt light bulb in a lamp that can only take a 30. So they keep blowing fuses. So when I work with the children, not just with ICU or VNR, I literally work with autistic children on a vibrational level. When you can mirror their vibration within yourself and they trust you, they start to respond in such ways that the parents didn't think were even possible. So autism is a spectrum of light within a child or a human being that is simply higher than the human body can function in. So when I work with the kids or the adults and I get them to expand their light to align with their human body and their light that they can't adjust, then we start to see the alignment of the human and the soul that becomes more conducive to what society would expect of them. But the last thing we can do is get them to lower their vibration, because they may as well not be here.
Wow. Incredible. And
yeah,
the How many different frequencies of tuning forks do you employ with this?
Just two tuning forks. So when I was researching, I found two frequencies that were absolutely in line with the vagus nerve, and two planets, two essential oils, and two main crystals as well.
And are you teaching people this?
Yeah. So I do a VNR practitioner training. What all I ask the prerequisite to be is that they have some form of healing modality already, like Reiki or Rahani or something like that, where they've gone through the basic training. And then they come for a day and I take them through the training and I explain about the technical side of the vagus nerve and the spiritual side, because what's really exciting is I believe that the vagus nerve is actually where it's completely aligned with the spinal cord. I believe that the vagus nerve is actually perfectly aligned with the Kundalini energy. So that prana that runs through us is one with the vagus nerve. Because if you look at spiritual energy being the tree of life, and the vagus nerve is the wanderer, and it's like a branch, a tree trunk with branches coming off of it. There's a massive correlation between the vagus nerve and the spiritual aspect of people. So when people are having a Kundalini awakening and they go through Kundalini crisis, to me, that's exactly the same as having a vagus nerve crisis. So there's so many crossovers, it's incredible. And I was so excited. So when I train people, I talk about the anatomical side and the spiritual side. And you see all these light bulbs going off in there around their heads, and it's just amazing. I know that my next stage of teaching, because I teach human to human, and I know my next stage of teaching needs to be more internet based, but I've just got this little tiny bit of resistance that I need to overcome.
Well, I suppose perhaps that's somebody just to hold your hand and say, it's easy, I can do that. Yes.
Yeah, if someone came here and said, I can walk you through it, I can teach you how to do it, and I can guide you, and I can do all the techie stuff, I'd probably go, okay then.
Hopefully, somebody watching this right now will be going, that's me, and they'll be ringing.
And can you imagine? The only thing I will never put on the internet is the ICU. That's when the teachers go through the training for ICU, it's not just teaching them how to do that, it's teaching them how to manage their own energy, their own levels of consciousness. Because when you connect with a child for the first time, you're holding an energetic space for that child until they finish the program, and that's even if they leave the country. So ICU will never go internet based, but everything else can.
Well, of course, maybe there is no such thing as never, and some new information will come down to you, and you'll suddenly go, I see how this could work. Never is a bit of a dangerous word. It's a bit like should.
I know, you sound like me. I always say to people, never say never. In fact, I did have a meeting with the CEO of Hay House. The CEO of UK came here, and we had a long conversation. And Hay House wanted to promote the ICU training with children via their internet. And this was quite a few years ago now, and I absolutely said no way. I'm not to say, okay, let's just say I don't think it's right to teach the children over the internet, but maybe train the teachers.
Oh, yes. No, I quite agree. I was thinking about that. Was what I was thinking. Yes, quite. Well, super interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
So that's.
Yeah. I think the explosion this year is going to be the States. I've got a lot of invitations to go to the States. I need to work it out properly, and but there's been a lot of interest from the States now. So In fact, I got asked to go to Bali as well. That was a tough call.
Wow. And have you got a help? Have you got a helper who can come with you to be your manager, so to speak, when you're travelling? So I've done a lot of travelling last year, and wow, it was so helpful to have a helper along.
Not really. I've got lots of offers. I've got a lady that helps me on the admin side, but normally when I go to the States, it's by invitation, and the person that invites me ends up being that person. So they don't travel with me; they're already there.
Perfect.
Yeah, everything's always works out perfectly.
Exactly. Not always within the time frame that I've had in mind. I find it's often like 1 second to midnight, and a puff of smoke, and it arrives.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what I call divine time.
It's quite. Why did you doubt?
Yeah, but I'm human.